Remember when niggas thought making a Superman game was hard? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Geekman here, back at it again. If you don't get the premise of this channel already, I just don't know what to tell you, bro. We obviously don't stick to one type of content. We do gaming content, reaction vids, do dating sims. We're gonna do some horror games coming up soon, some single player games. We just gonna switch it around here. But today we're here with a different type of video. A video essay, my first crack at a video essay, and we'll be talking about how brain dead the discussion of making a Superman game was. I'm not gonna let this slide. I thank God we have the great revisionist history where people finally realized it wasn't that deep. It was not that deep. Now, disclaimer before this video starts, I am not a game developer. So please, I am sorry. I apologize if the reason why we didn't get a Superman game is because his fucking ass jiggle physics aren't up to the right specs or something. I don't listen. He can't fucking fly. We don't have that down. My bad, bro. I don't know all the facts, but this is just my take on what everybody was talking about during the discussion of making a Superman game. So this first part, we're gonna be just ranting. Then I'm gonna give you a solution, solution to all these fucking delusions that people had. Then I'm gonna get into what's actually hard about let me not get ahead of myself. What I think is actually hard when making a Superman game and what type of factors you have to think about. And to be honest, thinking about it now, the only real thing that was killing me this entire discussion, or what everybody was saying made making a Superman game was hard, was for some reason, I don't know where it comes from. We had it niggas had this idea that Superman was this untouchable god who didn't get hurt by nothing or anything, and it just plagued the entire conversation over and over again. Which I don't even know why people had this interpretation of Superman, when in every fucking form of media that he's in, the main villain or whatever grunts are being thrown at him, they knock him back too. They kick his ass too. So it's not like Superman is just this unstoppable force. He's just strong. He's just the strongest hero. He can face physical struggle, bro. Sure, maybe if he gets locked in, they're not gonna kill him, but still, he can still take damage. And I know somebody's gonna say, oh well, we don't want him, it doesn't make sense for him to get beaten by a street grunt. But bro, you're acting like video game characters get beaten up by a person who scales to them perfectly. Gang, you can get beat up by a regular nigga in New York when playing Spider-Man, bro. You're a Spider-Man, you have the ability to lift buildings with your fucking pinky, and you can get beat up by Robert the plumber, bro. This makes no sense. This line of thinking makes no sense. Fucking God of War, you play as a nigga who canonically killed Zeus, and you can get beat up by a fucking trash booger monster, bro. What are we? I don't know why niggas' brains just die when speaking about certain discussions, bro. So now that we got that point down, the kryptonite point had me dead, because everybody was saying, every enemy needs kryptonite to hurt Superman. Every enemy needs kryptonite. You need kryptonite, which makes no sense, because that's not even an argument on why making a Superman game is hard. That's an argument on why making anything Superman media related would be hard. Because you would have to have kryptonite, I guess, to hurt him, which makes no sense, because there's 50 other medias that have Superman in it, long running, that don't use kryptonite every episode. You just need a strong nigga. That's all you would need, bro. And this is why I think a lot of people's arguments are formed from fucking power scaling debates and shit that's not in the actual source material. Because another thing, it's unrelated, but it goes along the same lines, is fucking Joker getting out every fucking week. One, it's a comic book. You can't just have Joker be gone forever. And two, where do we get this idea from? Joker has been in 3 live action movies. One of them was a short little 30-second image, little cameo. So I'm so confused on where's this notion that Joker gets out every week and he starts killing mad people. I'm so confused. It's in the Batman the animated series, it was pretty balanced. Joker wasn't the main guy every single time. So I'm getting like, I'm so confused where niggas get this from. These next 2 points aren't gonna be as like, not like rage bait. I won't get as mad at them because they kind of like make sense. Is one, how is like the terrain, like what's the area, the map gonna look like, and where can we go with the flying? And the third one is like what system is gonna be used to keep the game entertaining that isn't direct combat with enemies. I think those two are like valid points of consideration. I imagine for like the terrain, we can bounce between Metropolis and I don't know if they want to add more cities, but either Metropolis in another city or Metropolis in space, depending on what the storyline is going to be. I hope it would be space, but I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't know. I'm thinking of other types of like what could be. Like, yeah, depending on the story really is how the map is going to look and who's the main villain. Because I imagine, because I'm glad the Superman movie came out and it showed you like weird shit that Superman fights. Like in one, he's fighting a fucking golem, and in another one, he's fighting this imp from a different universal realities. So it shows you the type of enemies and the type of places he can go fighting those baddies. Now, the third point about what is going to entertain the player other than the enemy encounters. What I mean by that, I mean like not like quick time events, but like those like the chase missions in Batman where you would chase down the tank and like find the commander and all that shit that isn't like that isn't fighting the enemy, like stealth mode. Like what would that thing be for Superman? And I feel like depending on which route you want to take or how you want like the city, I'm not trying to spoil it because I already know my answer. I'm trying to keep the video into sections so it doesn't seem out of order, but it's really dependent on how you want to do the city and how you want to do like everything else. And now sitting here thinking about it, I think you would have to do like a Spider-Man type thing where you have to like have Superman like move heavy objects and do like these, not like chores, but like help him, like yeah, like help out citizens, help a fucking grandma walk across the street, do like yeah, have some shit like that ties into the character, you know. Just have them help around the city. That would be like the little stuff though. I wouldn't say that's like the main thing to entertain the player besides the combat, but like that's one example of what you can do with that. And I'm thinking, yeah, like a mix between that helping out the citizens and having him like move heavy objects. And then also I was talking about the detective mode. You can just have his abilities, just use his abilities to get fucking past whatever obstacle that's facing him, which duh. But now I'm thinking about it, yeah, it makes sense. I don't know how you use X-ray vision though. That's one thing I'm stuck on. Like what, because you would essentially have to use it at like detective mode. Okay, the rant is now over. Now I'm gonna go into like my takes on what I would do to like fix these quote unquote problems that people have about making a Superman game. For the invincibility, really, again, just treat him like any other video game character. Obviously, I'm not gonna have him get beat up by regular mobs, but like, again, I'm glad James Gunn's Superman came out, so it showed you like the Raptors. The Raptors are exact level 1 grunts. They mob over you in like big numbers, attack you. Then you gonna have like the Hammer of Borlavia. That would be like your big guys that Superman needs to like, you know, use combos. For the combat system, I ain't gonna lie, you just gonna need a game developer for that. You actually gonna need a game developer for that, because I don't know what all them specifics, don't know all the specs, I don't know about all that. I'm just a nigga on YouTube. But also, you don't even have to have the Raptors be like the main enemy that you fight the whole game. You can have the Raptors be like the Arkham Knight militia, where they're just the main baddies, but you could also have him fight different types of enemies. For example, he doesn't always have to fight like fucking grunt runs. He can have like one big boss battle for like an enemy type where he fights this big ass monster, again like in the Superman movie. Or he can fight the like some cave dwellers that come up that are like really fucking big, like a group of grunts, and he can do that. Or you can have aliens coming. Like, you see what I'm getting at. Superman is the number one hero. Everybody comes to fight him. You have endless opportunity for like enemy types to utilize. And then here's where the good part comes in. Cause see, then now you can add kryptonite, and kryptonite can play a more functional role instead of just making it, oh, this is why they can hurt him. No, you can make it have a function in the game where kryptonite takes away one of your abilities. Now, I don't know, that, I ain't gonna lie, that idea sounds very similar when I said it. So I don't know if somebody said this before, but I just thought of that. I swear I didn't copy nobody. But it could have kryptonite take away ability. Like, for example, oh, you can't use heat vision, you can't use your freeze breath, or even just have it be like a debuff or something, like you can't fly for a minute or something, you know. And you, I don't know if you want to get experimental with it and have like the different types, like red kryptonite does this and da da da. I don't know about all that, but that's just my idea on how you can implement kryptonite into the game. Now for like what the world is gonna look like, the world map is gonna look like. I said it depends on the story, and what I mean by that, like who's the main villain. If it's Lex Luthor, then yeah, you would have to keep it between Metropolis and whatever bullshit that you're gonna have like on the sidelines. So if it's like Lex Luthor, but like fucking, I guess he teamed up with General Zod, then you have to bounce between Metropolis and space, which that can make a cool gameplay loop. Or some like underworld, probably some fucking cave dwellers underground that are trying to kill us. You can have that. Have Metropolis, you can bounce between Metropolis and the underground city. You like, there's a lot of shit you can do depending on what story or what you're going for. Also, the flight mechanics. I don't know about the flight mechanics. I feel like you can't make it the standard way, like how it looks like in the Lego games. You might have to make it a little bit more, just more. Like, for example, you can it's like a more like a twist, like you drift more. Like in the Lego games, you just like straight move. You move your stick, it moves over. You're gonna have to make it like fucking Superman hits like a quick U-turn, like parkour. Superman parkours while he flies, you know. You might have to make it like that instead of just having it be basic, just move stick around to have him fly. And then also you probably if you do like a cool fucking somersault trick, you go faster. I feel like that would be cool. Yeah, I feel like you gotta utilize more like the buttons more, instead of just having like it be a stick drift type game. I mean type flight pattern. Probably like have the player be able to do combos with the buttons. And another small thing to add to the world map, which is probably gonna be fucking obvious, but you can just have this the Fortress of Solitude be like the upgrade point where you fucking add costumes, upgrade your suits, add abilities, learn like lore aspects. That's probably what you're gonna use it for. Now on to what is gonna entertain the player besides the combat. Like I was saying, I think it depends on the story elements. Well, no, I didn't say that for this. I said that I had my idea. You would have to do it like quick, like intense missions to like blow up like the city. Like that's where like the I think it was Superman Returns that did that, where it was the city had like a health bar. I feel like those would be like the main missions that would entertain you besides combat. So for example, a group of people hijacked a truck stealing fucking explodium, and now they're driving through Metropolis, and Superman has to defuse the situation, like quick time events, and like maneuver through the city fast enough and race it. And if he fails, then the city blows up, and that's like a mission ending or type deal. And then another example, him stopping a train track from falling off. You can have that be another cool side mission. And then another one, bank hostage robbery. Like, you see what I'm getting at? Like, just normal mundane hero shit would be like your side activity, your side missions and shit, besides fighting. Yeah, so basically this third point comes down to you would make missions that like basically just not describe, but like encapsulates Superman's character, about how much he cares about civilians and civilian life. So you have like, for example, him stopping a meteor from hitting Metropolis. That would be one of them. You know, shit like that is what you would use to entertain the player besides fighting the enemy grunts. And now for the last section of the video, let's finally put all these thoughts together. So what would my take on this on a Superman game look like? So in terms of invincibility, you can have 3 types of enemies to like, not to like break the immersion, but like to make it feel not realistic, to make it make sense basically on why Superman's getting hurt. You have your Raptors. If you're going for like a tech lord option, evil billionaire, you have like these tech enemies, tech-based enemies, and that will explain why they're super strong. Then you will also have your if you wanted to do like a underground monster, you have like the big, they won't be grunts, but they will be like big enemies in a grunt formation. That's the word I'm trying to get. Big enemies in a grunt formation, and that would be like a hard battle. Or you can have it be like a boss battle where it's like this big monster attacking the city, and just switch it up like a big kaiju battle, and you're basically Superman fighting a kaiju. And then again, you can have it if you want, like if you want Brainiac or Zod, you can have Superman go up to space and fight some aliens. So you can have it that way too. Those would be like the enemy types that not break the loop, but like make it like, oh, okay, the Superman will realistically get hurt by those, even in a comic book sense. Like he's not getting beat up by a regular robber. He's getting beat up by these people. And then again, you have options to make them different from each other. So like the tech lord billionaire corporate dogs can have like kryptonite on them. That again, like I said, takes away your ability. Then you'll have like the kaiju monsters. They'll be like they'll be like more stronger. They'll take like high damage, like the fucking brutes from Spider-Man 2. That's what they will essentially be like. I don't know about the aliens. We might have to do, no, the aliens will be like flight combat. Boom, there you go. So the tech enemies will be kryptonite based, that will take away your abilities. The kaiju monsters will be heavy Groots that take a lot of health and do a lot of damage, and the aliens will be like a flight type combat. And then the world map will be either jumping between Metropolis, space, and underground. Probably all 3, depending on the story you bring or the story you want to tell. Then the flight will be a parkour type deal where you can use buttons or combos to do tricks that will give you more of a speed boost and make it cool. Sort of like Spider-Man, how you can do different shit and web combos to move faster throughout the city. And then you have the Fortress of Solitude to be like your intel checkpoint, not checkpoint, but like data center, where you look at everything that you collected throughout the entire game, and character info and upgrade menu. That would just be like the service menu area, or like the cool collection area that you look at, just like how the GCPD was in Arkham Knight. And for the last one, stuff to entertain the player that isn't fighting. You can do like have Superman run around the city saving people in different ways. You can take inspiration from movies. So for example, you can have a plane fall in, or a bank robbery, stuff like that adds stakes, but isn't directly on Superman and is about the city. So have criminals running around with a dangerous explosive getting ready to explode. Superman got to get there in time. A train about to fall off the track. Superman got to get there in time. Robbers holding hostages in a bank, getting ready to execute them. Superman has to get there, and he has to use all of his abilities to get in there and help them and shit like that. And then you can have little small stuff where Superman just helps out regular people, like mundane acts. And then you can also incorporate that into the gameplay a little bit. Like for example, there's a citizen getting ready to be hurt or killed, and Superman gotta run over there. Now I know some of you are gonna be like, damn, you ain't gonna talk about a story? Nah, not really. Right now I'm pretty tired as hell, and all I wanted to do was talk about how the optics, or the fundamentals of making the game wasn't as hard as people made it out to be, and that we were just really thinking about it way too deep. Which I'm pretty much beating on a dead horse because everybody else agrees that, yeah, we were tripping. But I just wanted to give my opinion. You know, finally got a platform to speak, so I'm gonna use it to best of my ability. And right now, I think that's about it. That's all I gotta say. If you guys have any other opinions you would like to share, whether you think some of my points didn't make any sense, which, you know, I could take criticism, different opinions, but just don't be rude about it. But if you want to see some more, like and subscribe. Yeah, I'm probably gonna come out with another one. This is probably not gonna be my last video talking about video game characters. I mean, not video game characters, but like how comic book characters can be made into a movie. I mean, not what the fuck am I talking about? How wow, I'm cooked. I gotta go to bed. How comic book characters can be translated into games. Whew. All right, yeah, it's getting late. I'll see y'all boys later, man. Goodbye.